Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today I'm going to try and repair my son's Philips Sonicare toothbrush. So this was bought brand new, probably a little over a year ago now, and last night he said that he couldn't turn it off. He had to press it loads of times before it would go off, and then this morning when he went to use it he said it was making a funny noise, and my wife said it's no problem, it just needs charging. She plugged it in and then she was like, Vince, it's not charging. So I thought, okay, it's probably because it's completely depleted, leave it in for a while. This has now been in for 5 hours and it's still not charging. There's no lights coming on whatsoever. So what it should look like is this one here, which does work. This is my daughter's. If you look at that, can you see it starts charging as soon as you put it on there? And as far as the operation is concerned, all you have to do is turn it on and turn it off. If you want to change the mode setting from strong to weak, you hit that button when it's off and then it will become weaker. Yeah. But now watch this one here. This one will turn on, but then you can't turn it off. Yeah, and it's on the weak mode. And also every now and then it will make that funny noise because the battery's nearly gone. But if you have a listen, it's clicking. Doesn't matter how hard I press that, it is not going off. So I've worked out how to get it off. There you go, just made that beeping noise because the battery's flat. I have to hold down the mode button and then this button, then it will turn off. So watch this, holding it down like that. So that's not a problem because I can live with that. As long as it can turn off, that's fine. But the main problem is it will not charge. Oh yeah, look at that. It does open up there, doesn't it? Let's zoom in a little bit more. Right, let's give that a squeeze. And then, oh, I can see the little rubber seal. Obviously this is to make it waterproof. I'm just going to rotate it a bit. And now this side's opened up here. Whoa! Nice. It's like popping a champagne bottle. Okay, if I do get it working, I'm looking forward to giving everything a nice good clean because, you know, just where it's been sat down on a wet sink all the time, you just get dirt and mould everywhere. Right, that came off a lot easier than expected. Now there is, oh, look, there's all, yeah, look, there's all water, condensation inside. I don't know if that's normal or not. Can you see? On the walls here, look. That's all wet. Right, that's not good. Right, so what we're going to have to do now is there's two little clips. Can you see here? This side and that side in there. So what I think I'm going to do is, in fact, is that going to come? That's already come out. Look, all I did was squeeze it like that and it's come out. So let's take the top off. Excellent. Well, I wasn't expecting that to come out so easy. Right, as far as water damage is concerned, yes, there's lots of water down at the very bottom. I was going to say there isn't any on the actual thing, but there is. And I can also see up here as well. Right, so it looks like I'm dealing with water damage, which is a shame. So obviously some seal has failed somewhere. I'm thinking it's probably going to be this top one here. But we can worry about that afterwards. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some kitchen roll and then I will properly be able to see how much water's on this. Right, so you can see water down there. Definitely around the coil at the bottom. And I presume that's the coil for the magnetic charging, because with this here, there isn't actually any contacts. It's quite clever. It's done via induction. So obviously that coil in there is inducting with some other coil in here. Right, so I can see a little bit of rust on the bottom of the battery. Yeah, tiny little bit of rust there. What battery is this now? Not too sure if that's the name of it or not. Might be some markings on the other side. Right, I'm going to have to dismantle this, aren't I? Because Yeah, there's rust here as well. You can see rust there. I'm gonna have to take it all apart and give it a real good clean. So this has been leaking for quite some time, and I'm thinking it must be from the top here. In fact, I should be able to take that off. Can you take these off? I'm not sure if that plastic is in one piece with the rubber underneath it or whether it's two pieces. But you know what? We don't really have to get involved with that, do we? Because the water damage actually seems to be from the bottom half, which is strange how it's been getting in from the bottom. Unless, of course, it's been travelling down the top, and then when it's sat there, gravity's just worked. Also, I can see nice corrosion on that chip there, so that's going to need a reflow. Well, let's get this board off completely, because obviously I can't be soldering onto this, heating it up and stuff with the battery below it. Right, interestingly, there's two little pads down here, and there was a big blob of solder on, but I can't actually see what they're going to. I wonder whether it's if it's done for some sort of safety or something. So basically there's two pads here, and there was just solder going straight across them. Wow, okay, that certainly wasn't easy. I'm just going to clean out the holes here now. Good, they're nice and clear now for when I put it back on. Right, so this is the thing down the bottom, the charging thing. So obviously it travels up through the board and then allows the safe charge off the battery. So I'm going to have to give this a real good clean to try to get rid of all that rust in there. But to begin with, let's worry about the circuit board. This is also the little charging tab that goes on the battery. So I need to make sure that I put that back in. That goes up the top here. Right, so this is the board here. And you can see that there is corrosion there. And also a little bit back down the bottom. But not too bad. It's this chip here which looks the main part of the damage. Now maybe the chip might have blown, or it might just need a clean. I'm hoping it will just need a clean. So to begin with, I'm just going to get IPA and I'm just going to clean the whole board thoroughly. This stuff here is 99.9% alcohol. Now, I don't think it's a problem with the actual button, because the thing is it turns on perfectly. If it didn't turn on or turn off, then you would suggest it's the button. But I think it's more the chip here, because when you press this button, it's just one of these switches that just click on for a second. So it needs to be able to latch on and latch off. Right, while I've got the IPA out, I'm just going to clean up the rest of the board and the contacts and stuff and the battery. You know, looking at this, that should be spot welded onto here. So what's happened is that's actually come off, maybe through to, because of corrosion, or it could have been me prying it. That that broke it off. Is cleaned up okay. It's still when that dries it will still have like a brown residue on it, but you can see I got quite a bit of the rust away from it. And the battery, I'm pretty sure the battery is going to be okay. I know it looks a bit rusty, but that is only on the outside. When that goes back on here, I'm hoping when it's forced up against here that will make a good contact again, because originally that would have been spot welded on. Thinking it should make a good enough contact. If not, I can always put a little kink in this to make it you know, to sort of like fill up the gap a little bit, so to force it against it. So now what we need to concentrate on is this main chip here. Now it's come up a lot better, but you can still see that there's corrosion on this part here. So I'm going to get some flux and I'm just going to put it on, might as well put it on both sides, and then we'll just tap it with the soldering iron. Right, so this is the flux that I'm using. Now I'm hoping by doing this that it will reflow and get rid of that corrosion. So let's zoom right in for this bit. Okay, here goes. So I've got my iron set to, I'm going to set it to 400 degrees Celsius. Now remember, this is just a cheap iron, so that might not necessarily be 400 at the tip, it might be a lot less. But this is only a very thin board, so it's not going to need a huge amount of heat. I'm just going to do the other side. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So if you look real closely, you can see that this was the side with the corrosion around the middle there, and they all look nice and shiny again now. And this was the other side. Probably didn't need to do this side. Right, so I think now we should pop it back together and see if we have anything out of it. Actually, before I do that, let me just quickly clean up the inside of this. In fact, while I'm cleaning it, I might as well do the whole thing. I'll just fast forward it through it all so you won't get bored. Right, okay, so that's the main cleaning done. So now let's start to put this back together. Right, I think I am going to put a tiny little kink on this just to make sure it is making a good contact. Okay, just a tiny little bend like that. So that is it back together. Let's see if it's going to work or not. I'm very unsure about this battery. No. No, nothing. I've just remembered. Do you remember what I forgot to do? Remember the blob of solder down the very bottom connecting those two pads? Well, I didn't put that back on, did I? That one there. So it must be there for a reason. So let's put a blob of solder back on there and then see if it comes to life after that. Right, okay, you can see I've soldered that up now. Let's see if we've got any power. Yes, it's flashing green. Look at that. Fantastic. What a result. Oh, I'm so happy. Yes, and it gave a look. It's just doing it for a split second. Do you know what? I'm confident that that's going to work. I'm so confident that I am going to put it back together. Right, so I'm going to leave that. Let's leave that for a little while and see what happens. Okay, it's only been charging up for about an hour now, but it appears to be working nice and strong. So if you watch this now, you can see I can select between low and high. Let's leave it on low. Turn it on. Listen to that. Okay. Turn it off. Works fine. Let's put it up high. And turn it on. And turn it off. And hopefully now that will keep working for a while. So if you've got any enjoyment from it at all, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more Trying to Fix videos. Take care. Bye now.